Hello, my name is Kim Bowen with Crow Wing Crest Lodge. I'm a volunteer on the CMR Board of Directors working on the Marketing Committee. And I wanted to give you a quick overview of the membership section only of the new CMR website at minnesota-resorts.com. They allowed me to put my fingertips on it, so I went to town a little bit. So there's some resources on here I just want to make sure you're aware of. So there's 4 main pages: membership, education, legislative, and marketing. And as you can see, there are even more pages off the drop downs of each single page. So membership page, pretty easy section. Here's even a link to a separate page, Resorter of the Year, and a little bit of why we did a free membership to every resort in the state during COVID. Here are the 3 main members of our group. The main resort and campground members are here. You can click on this and go right to apply or renew your membership here. These here are kind of membership materials. So if you're talking to a fellow resorter who does not happen to be a CMR member and you kind of want to give them a little bit more information, you can just click on one of these and print it out real quick and give it to them, or you can at least give them a link to that page. So right here, you can be yet another ambassador for the CMR right there. Retired and associate members, they each have their own pages now. Retired resorters, I kind of wanted to highlight these guys, and I've given them some interview and survey questions, and the information is starting to come in. My favorite part is asking what they wish they would have done before they sold the resort. I think that might be pertinent for a lot of us current members. So associate members, similarly, they're all listed here. There's quite a few of them. So if you went to a vendor show during fall conference, for example, and forgot who is that person I need to order sheets from, for example, oh, you can find them here. There we go, in-room supplies. There's the information on how to order that. And again, retired resorters and associate members, they can also now renew online. We've got the PayPal calculations all set up, so they can do that here, or like us, like many of us do, we print out the PDF and mail ours in. So not much else to the membership page, main one, except for the board information at the bottom of the page. So if you can find all of us down here, including some members at large that are helping us on the board, and our bylaws are even here. You probably don't care, but some of us on the board refer to that quite often. Anyway, there's membership. Okay, education. It's got a lot going on in education, and then a little bit of legislation and a little bit on marketing. So education has got quite a number of pages. We've got a separate page for School of Resorting and Cracker Barrels, Spring Workshop, all these guys, plus magazines and newsletters. There's a whole page here. You can actually go back as far as 2011 and 2012 and see the entire PDF magazine we sent out that year, if you would like to. Also, scholarships is a new one. Education, let's go down to scholarships, has its own page. If you're interested in that, you can learn about if your kid or your grandkid is eligible, and you can apply online or by mail. And here are the current winners of that. Interesting information if you're into that. School of Resorting, here's the latest class. Here are a couple of videos you can actually watch from last year, a couple of classes that we did. And here's some recent classes with more information on those, just to give you an idea. And here are 4 videotapes of some Cracker Barrels we did last year via Zoom during COVID. Those are viewed a lot, actually. Fall resort tours, you can learn about that. Spring workshop, fall conference. I mean, there's just a bunch of information here. I was able to put a whole bunch of video clips. Now that we're doing lots of things by Zoom, I've had a lot of clips to kind of break down and upload to give you guys an idea of what workshops and conferences are like. And here's even some past agendas that'll give you an idea of the topics and presentations and why you'd want to come. So that's pretty much it for education, except for one last thing. Resources. This took me a day to kind of do, but there's some information in here that you might find helpful. We've had a few topics on employees. As we all know, they're kind of a pain in the ass. So we have a lot of questions about it. So here are some forms for this year. Link here, here's current forms that you might need. If you've got an application that you like at your resort, great. If you don't, here's actually a sample you could use. New hire instructions, here's a new hire form. There's some no-no questions. This little section over here, accordioned up, just happens to be extra employee type questions. I happen to just have this stuff because I was part of an education committee years ago, and I had this guy, Jim Hagman, come speak. He was a great speaker, and he's now the director of Minnesota Unemployed Insurance. But these are quite interesting little bits and pieces. He was very gracious in answering stuff for us. So you might want to read through that. And here's a natural resources type stuff. So here's like a pre-arrival letter you could send to your guests to get them up to speed about aquatic invasive species. It's generic, so anyone can use that, and we want you to, of course. Here's a link to the DNR website for lake service provider training. I've got to get my guys to renew that permit to this spring from our resort too. Here's a couple of talent and photo release forms. This came up during a couple of school of resorting classes for video and photography. And then here's a couple of boat waiver agreements. This comes up quite a lot. I might be interested in even putting some more examples up here for people to kind of use. And there you go. That's education in a nutshell. Let's go to legislative real quick. There's only 2 pages. So legislative has a little bit about Day on the Hill right here and why it's so important to have you help us show up on Day on the Hill. Here's a link to find your legislator and a little bit about Joel, some testimonials from people and how legislative pieces help them personally. Here's how to support the effort. And again, we really need more butts on the bus next year on Day on the Hill. And we are definitely going to have a physical bus going down to Day on the Hill. So we would love your support. And those of you who are a little bit shy about possibly going, here is a video. I just happened to create this maybe 2-3 years ago. And it was from clips on the former Day on the Hill. It's kind of a fun little video. It's like 3 minutes or something. You can watch it and get a really good idea about what it's like to come with us on the bus and speak to legislators. It's not scary at all. All right, let's go to current issues here, which again, I just want to point out that you can find current issue page here too on the drop-down menu. This is a little clip that I edited down from some that we recorded a couple of weeks ago on the actual Day on the Hill. This is about 19 minutes long with a senator and a representative. And here was a quote that I jotted down as Senator Carrie Rood was talking a couple of weeks ago. And those of us on one of the Zoom calls during a break were talking about how do we get more people to help us on Day on the Hill. And I suggested that we talk a little bit about why, I asked people why they first came on Day on the Hill. And several people gave me their answers, and they're quite interesting. So here are the current issues that we talked about, these 3 main ones, so you can learn a little bit more about that. And then this broadband funding just came up last week, so it's yet another issue that is relevant right now. So you can learn a little bit more by clicking on those. And this is just a few of the last few years highlights. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more, you can click on that plus or minus and learn a little bit more about those. Okay, last but not least, marketing. There we go. Here's the marketing page. And mostly this page is about the big pooled resources and what we're doing on marketing committee, which is limited, more and more limited every year as we reduce the budget. But you can even listen to a radio commercial we did last year if you'd like. And a couple other pages I want to point out for sure. There are easy accessible CMR logos, which you can find as a separate page here or on the main marketing page. Boop. And last but not least, how to update your resort listing on this website. Here are some tutorials. Here's a couple videos, and here are some PDFs, how to log on, that kind of thing. So there's your resources in a nutshell for membership. A lot more stuff here than the last website. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you utilize it. I would welcome suggestions, and hope you guys have a great season this year. Thanks for listening.